pretty big section compared to the other two.
Yeah, it just stands out. Jesus has more to say. He's going to give them an example. And again, is this actually a sermon? Is it a bunch of collected teachings? In the other Gospels, this teaching doesn't show up in a sermon. But the Lord's Prayer is something that Jesus says in response to his disciples asking their rabbi, teach us how to pray. And so Jesus gives them the Lord's Prayer. Go ahead and read that section just one more time.
This then is how you should pray. Our Father in heaven, hallowed be your name. Your kingdom come, your will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us today our daily bread, and forgive us our debts, as we also have forgiven our debtors. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from the evil one.
All right, excellent. So this is this prayer where a lot of us are familiar with this prayer. We call it the Lord's Prayer. What we don't often realize is that this prayer had actually this was a common everyday prayer for Jesus and his disciples. It was a prayer called the Amidah prayer. For years we didn't know if the Amidah prayer dated back before Jesus, but just spend 10 minutes on Google and just search for the Amidah prayer. You'll find all kinds of versions. Modern versions, you can find ancient versions, and you'll notice that throughout the evolution of Judaism, the Amidah prayer has grown, and it's gotten quite large. It's a quite in-depth prayer. But you'll notice, even if you look at the Amidah prayer, it follows the exact same format, has the same sections that Jesus' Amidah prayer, Jesus' Lord's Prayer. And that's because Jesus isn't quoting a new prayer. We have, eventually in recent archaeology, we've found prayers, the Amidah prayer, and versions that predate Jesus. So we know that they were using the Amidah prayer when Jesus utters this. In fact, they said the Amidah prayer every day at lunchtime, at noon. I don't know if it was their lunchtime in their world, but at noon they would go for prayer time at the temple, and they would stand. You had to say the Amidah prayer. It's a standing prayer. You say the Amidah prayer as you stand in groups of 10. And we talk about that more on the sermon too. You can look at that as well. But the ancient version in the Hebrew goes like this: Avinu Shabbat Shamayim, Yakadesh Shimcha, Tomlich Malchuka, Yaaseh Bashayim Uva Aretz, Et Lechem Hekenu Telanu Chiyom. If you translate that, it says this: Our Father, the one who dwells in heaven, may your name be holy. May your kingdom come as we do your will here on earth as it's done in heaven. Give us today the bread of today. And some versions that we found tag this line onto it: and deliver us from the evil one. Curse be he. So Jesus, essentially, when his disciples come to him, not in Matthew, but in the other Gospels, and they say, Rabbi, teach us how to pray. Jesus responds by saying, you know how to pray. He quotes the prayer that they pray every day at noon. He's not giving them a new prayer at all. He's giving them the same prayer that they're used to. He says, you know how to pray. Just pray. There's no special prayer. There's no secret to prayer. There's no unearthed formula that if you get this right, or just pray. We've been praying for thousands of years in different ways, in different times, using different methods. Just pray. I would say the same thing is true today. Have we screwed prayer up? Have we gotten prayer wrong? No, just pray. You know how to pray. Just pray. And I think Jesus' point is, make sure it's authentic. Make sure it's real. Make sure it's not a show. But just pray. But there is one thing that is unique. Go ahead and read the prayer that's in Matthew one more time. And then I will read the ancient 1st century BC version that we found in archaeology, in the world of archaeology. And I'll have our listeners tell us what is, they won't be able to tell us, but you look for what's missing. Go ahead, Brent.
Our Father in heaven, hallowed be your name. Your kingdom come, your will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us today our daily bread, and forgive us